Welcome back to our channel. Buckle up, buttercups, because today we're diving headfirst into the dumpster fire that is current events. We've got nationwide protests making even the Tea Party look like a polite disagreement over tea sandwiches. Elon Musk is involved, so you know it's going to be a rational, measured response, and not at all like a Twitter meltdown in real life. And if that wasn't enough, we've got viral trends, celebrity scandals, and enough political intrigue to make House of Cards look like a game of Go Fish played by toddlers. Let's dive in, shall we? Well, folks, it seems America has finally found something everyone can agree on. Being completely and utterly fed up. Millions of people across all 50 states, that's right, all of them, even the ones shaped like a mitten, have taken to the streets in what can only be described as a collective cry of enough is enough. And who's in the crosshairs of this nationwide discontent? None other than President Tiny Hands himself and his tech bro sidekick Elon Musk. It seems the American public isn't too keen on their policies, which, let's be honest, have all the subtlety and nuance of a sledgehammer to a Fabergé egg. We're talking major cities, New York, Louisiana, Atlanta, looking less like bustling metropolises and more like ant farms that someone just shook up really hard. It's a sea of humanity out there, folks, and they are not there for a good time. Now you might be thinking, John, what exactly are they protesting? And that, my friends, is a very good question, because frankly, with this administration, where do you even begin? Remember when the height of political activism was putting a bumper sticker on your car? Well, those days are gone, my friends. We live in the age of the internet now, where a meme can spread faster than a Kardashian relationship rumor. And let me tell you, the internet is not holding back when it comes to expressing their feelings about the current administration, particularly in the art department. In a glorious display of digital defiance, anti-Trump posters have been popping up online like mushrooms after a rainstorm, and these aren't your grandma's vote for change posters either. We're talking witty, we're talking biting, we're talking the kind of satire that would make Jonathan Swift proud. Think Banksy, but with a Twitter account, and a bone to pick with the leader of the free world. It's a veritable art gallery of dissent, all conveniently located on your phone. From clever Photoshop jobs to thought-provoking illustrations, these posters are capturing the frustration and anger of a nation with a healthy dose of dark humor. Because, let's face it, sometimes you just have to laugh to keep from crying, but don't be fooled by the humor, folks. These posters are more than just a few giggles at the president's expense. They're a powerful reminder that dissent is alive and well in America, even in the digital age. Hold on to your binoculars, folks, because the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, especially when that tree happens to belong to the late, great Steve Irwin. That's right, Robert Irwin, the spitting image of his legendary father and all-around wildlife warrior, has gone and broken the internet. Now, before you go picturing him wrestling crocodiles or cuddling up with a python, let me clarify, this isn't your average adorable animal encounter. Robert, who, let's not forget, is now a strapping 21-year-old, has traded in his signature car keys for something a little briefer. That's right. He's the new face, and abs, let's be honest, of Bond's Made for Down Under underwear campaign, and let's just say the internet is feeling a lot of feelings about it. Gone is the charmingly awkward teenager we watched grow up on screen. In his place is a smouldering young man who clearly inherited his father's love for the camera, though perhaps not his wardrobe choices. Chapter 4, Deion Sanders Don't Cross the Line. Literally. Listen up, folks, because this next story is about to go from 0 to 60 faster than a cheetah on a sugar rush. We're talking about Deion Sanders, NFL legend, current Colorado head coach, and a man who clearly doesn't have time for your nonsense. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with the high-stakes world of college football, Pro Day is a big deal. It's the day when potential NFL draftees get to strut their stuff in front of scouts, hoping to impress their way into the big leagues. And this year, all eyes were on Colorado's Pro Day, where Coach Prime himself, Deion Sanders, was overseeing the proceedings with the intensity of a hawk eyeing its prey. But things took a turn for the dramatic when Coach Prime had a little difference of opinion with an NFL scout. And when I say difference of opinion, I mean a full-blown, caught-on-camera confrontation that would make even the Real Housewives blush. Chapter 5, Measles Outbreak, a blast from the not-so-distant past. Well, folks, it seems like we're not just reliving the 1980s in terms of fashion and questionable hair choices. No, we've also decided to bring back a childhood disease that we thought we'd left behind with leg warmers and shoulder pads, measles. That's right, the highly contagious and potentially deadly disease is back, and it's spreading like wildfire through parts of the southwest. We're talking hundreds of cases, multiple states affected, and even a few tragic deaths. Now, you might be thinking, measles, isn't that like a Victorian-era disease that only exists in history books? And to that, I say you clearly haven't been paying attention to the anti-vaxxer movement, because here's the thing, folks. Measles is entirely preventable. We have a safe and effective vaccine that's been around for decades. It's the same vaccine that helped eradicate the disease in the United States back in the year 2000. But thanks to the tireless efforts of misinformation and fear-mongering, vaccination rates have been dropping, and now here we are facing a completely avoidable outbreak of a disease that should have been relegated to the history books. Chapter 6, Tariff. Trump declares Economic Liberation Day. Hold on to your wallets, everyone, because the Trump administration has decided to celebrate their unique brand of economic policy with a new national holiday, Tariff. Okay, that's not the actual name, but it should be, because starting this week, President Trump is slapping tariffs on pretty much everything that isn't nailed down, and frankly, he might be working on those too. That's right, folks, get ready for a 10% price hike on all your favorite imported goods, from Chinese-made electronics to Italian shoes to, well, pretty much everything else. And if you thought that was bad, just wait until you hear about the special bonus tariffs reserved for specific countries that President Trump has deemed insufficiently appreciative of his economic genius. According to President Trump, these tariffs are all part of his grand plan to achieve economic independence, because nothing says independence like making everything more expensive for American consumers and businesses. Well, folks, it seems Mother Nature is taking a page out of the Trump administration's playbook, unpredictable, chaotic, and with a healthy dose of hold on to your hats. This is going to be a bumpy ride. That's right, we're talking about the severe weather that's been battering communities across the United States, leaving a trail of destruction and displacement in its wake. From torrential downpours to flash floods to rivers threatening to burst their banks, it's enough to make Noah start building an ark again. We're seeing images of homes submerged in water, cars swept away like bath toys, and entire neighborhoods transformed into makeshift lakes. It's a stark reminder that even in the 21st century, nature can still pack a punch that would make Mike Tyson jealous. And if you thought climate change was a hoax invented by the Chinese to sell us solar panels, I've got some bad news for you. These extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and more intense, and they're not going away anytime soon. Get ready for a meeting of the minds, folks, because two of the world's most, shall we say, diplomatic leaders are getting together this week. That's right, President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are scheduled for a little tete-a-tete, and I'm sure it'll be a calm, measured discussion of complex geopolitical issues. Just kidding. This is a meeting between Donald Trump, a man who once tweeted that he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize, and Benjamin Netanyahu, who's facing corruption charges in his own country. It's like a reality show where the prize is a potential international incident. So what's on the agenda for this meeting of the minds? Well, according to official sources, they'll be discussing bilateral relations and regional issues. But let's be honest, it's probably going to be a lot of back-patting, mutual admiration, and maybe a few shared grievances about the fake news media. Well, folks, the Senate GOP has done it again. They've managed to outdo themselves in their never-ending quest to prove that they're completely out of touch with the needs of everyday Americans. That's right, they've approved a new budget framework, and let's just say it's not exactly designed with the middle class in mind. In fact, it's pretty much the opposite. This budget is a love letter to the wealthy, a symphony of tax cuts for the rich, all while slashing funding for programs that millions of Americans rely on. It's Robin Hood in reverse. Steal from the poor, give to the rich, and hope no one notices the gaping hole where the social safety net used to be. But hey, who needs healthcare, education, or environmental protection when you can give billionaires another tax break, right? I mean, it's not like those things are important or anything. Of course, this is just the beginning of the budget battle. The House still needs to weigh in, and there's sure to be plenty of political maneuvering and backroom dealing before anything is finalized. And now, for a little local flavour, let's take a trip to the Constitution State, where the news is always, well, it's news, folks. First up, we've got insert local political story here. Apparently, briefly explain the story with a humorous twist. And you thought national politics was a circus. Next, we have insert local community event here. That's right, nothing says community spirit like humorous description of the event. And finally, in public safety news, I insert local crime or safety announcement here. So if you're in location, you might want to humorous advice related to the announcement. And there you have it, folks, another week, another avalanche of news that's enough to make you want to crawl under your weighted blanket and never come out. But hey, at least we're all in this together, right? Thanks for joining me on this wild ride through current events. Remember, stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, don't lose hope. We're going to need it. See you next time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel for more sensational stories and updates.